Hi guys, Carrie the Hyper Quilter here. Just wanted to drop another video to give you a couple of little tips on how to put together all of those block pieces. This quilt is highly reliant on the 3D effect, and in order to get that 3D effect we need to be pretty precise when piecing to make sure that things match up, because if we have too many horribly mismatched things it's going to throw off the entire perspective of the quilt. So this video is for my newbies and my point obsessed pros. Now, I'm not a big fan of overthinking things. Yes, we want things to be pretty perfect, but they don't have to be absolutely perfect in order for them to work. Now, I'm going to show you how I get all of my points to line up so nicely so that everybody looks nice and is oriented the right way. The thing I'm going to tell you, the great big mystery to life in matching all points, is pins. You need to pin absolutely every place that a seam matches. I start from one corner and I pin through that seam like that, and then I go to the other corner, matching those half square triangles up so that those seams line on top of each other. Now, it may look a little bunchy. Things may not always be absolutely perfect, but perfection is overrated. What makes it look perfect is making sure that every single seam lines up. So I'm going to go from seam to seam, starting at the corners, both corners, and then the two middles, and I'm going to line everybody up. If I have any fullness in any one piece versus the other, it's going to work itself out underneath the needle. Quilting is really the art of making imperfect things look perfect. At least in my mind it is. Things don't have to be absolutely 100% perfect, but a few little tips and tricks, you can make it look like you are a genius. So go ahead, sew this up. I am not a fan of sewing over your pins, but I will leave them in to the absolute last moment before I take them out to ensure that what I lined up is going to stay lined up. Now, in your directions, it tells you which direction to press all of your seams. On this sample that I'm making now, I am pressing all of my seams open in the inner block construction. I want it to lay as flat as possible, and open makes a better junction for me. You can feel free to press them the way that it specifies in the pattern. That way we'll make it so that all of your seams nest up, and then you can spin them all and it'll be beautiful. But I like to make sure to press them all open like that and give it a nice hard press from this side, because I find that it's a little easier to quilt through when I don't have so many seams, because you'll have some double seams if you don't press it open. It's purely preference. Some people won't press open, some people will only press to the side, some people press everything open. I only press open when it makes sense. I press to the side when it makes sense. All right, now I've got all these little guys in a row, and now that I have that done, I'm going to add it to this section, and then once they're all added on, then I'm going to send all of the quadrants through the machine, and I will have the center part of my quilt done, and I'll be ready to add my inner borders. The inner borders are very simple. Just follow the directions. If you choose, you can miter that border instead of making the half square triangle unit at the top, but I find the half square triangle unit to be just a little bit easier to manage and get lined up appropriately. Remember, top tips: pin every single seam. I know it's going to take a lot of work when you're looking at pinning all the way across all of this, but I promise you, match corner to corner, pin every seam, make sure everybody lines up, and it'll be super simple to make sure that all your points match. Your blocks don't have to be perfect to get all your points to match. A little smidge off here and a little smidge off there isn't really going to be that big of a deal. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not a computer. I'm a human. So I make lots of mistakes. And if I can work them in, I'm going to work them in. I'm not going to make myself work harder by taking it apart and trying over and over again. So my big message is match your points with pins and you should have everything done in no time flat. So the next video will be about doing the piano key border and how to miter that. That'll be a pretty big one because I'm going to cover 2 steps. I'm going to cover creating the miter key and keeping it straight, and then also how to miter that corner so that everybody matches up and looks really cool going around. So tune in, and I will have that in about a week. I'm not sure, maybe sooner. Depends on how things go. So if you have any questions, ask. And remember, if you want to get the pattern so that you can sew along with, you can get it at vectorquilts.com. You can purchase it either as a physical pattern or you can pick it up as a PDF and download it and get started right away. So join us on Facebook at the Hyper Quilter. I have a Facebook group, the Hyper Quilter group, and then also my Instagram is Hyper Quilter. So I will see you later. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.